Hello, dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are well. I'm here with our story, Jimmy Valentine. This story is written by William Sidney Potter. William Sidney Potter is popularly known as O. Henry. He is famous for his short stories, exciting plots, and his plots are well knitted, and the twisting scenes are there. The plots are very twisting, means there are sudden twists in the stories, and the ending of the stories are very surprising. So the story Jimmy Valentine is written by William Sidney Potter. The Jimmy Valentine is the main protagonist of the story. He is a burglar. He is often in the prison just because of his burglaries, and here there is a sudden change in his life. After getting out of the prison, he resumes his business. He starts doing the burglaries in others houses. Then he reaches a town where he meets a girl, and he falls in love with that girl. Everything keeps on going smoothly, but there is one change. There happens something when he has to choose whether to he can do the burglary, or he can crack a safe in front of others, or he can just hide his personality and let the things happen as they are happening. So it's a very interesting story. Let's read out it and find out what happens. Read this story about a charming safecracker who, no sooner than having been released from prison on a pardon, resumes business. However, he gives it up when he falls in love with a beautiful young woman. Find out what happens next. So, pardon means to get released from the prison before the time, from the time that is given for the prison of the imprisonment. So he had been given a imprisonment of 10 of 3 years, sorry, and he was getting released within 10 months. But he was hoping, he had supposed that he'll get released within 3 months, but anyhow it took 10 months for him to come out of that prison. Next day was Jimmy Valentine's day of release from the prison. Now, Valentine, said the warden, you will go out in the morning, brace up, and make a man of yourself. You are not a bad fellow at heart. Stop cracking safes and live straight. So brace up means to be courageous. So the warden called him one day before his release to his office, and the warden suggested him to live a noble life. Brace up means to be courageous. So he is suggesting to be courageous and leave doing the burglaries in others houses, and live a straight life where he can just start any good deed, any good business. Me, said Jimmy in surprise. Why, I never cracked a safe in my life. Oh no, laughed the warden. Of course not. Let's see now. How was it you happened to get sent up on that Springfield job? Me, said Jimmy. Why, warden, I never was in Springfield in my life. So when the warden is asking him to live a straight life, Jimmy is saying that I have never done any robbery in anybody's house. Take him back, Cronin, said the warden to the guard, and him up with outgoing clothes. Unlock him at 7 in the morning. Better think over my advice, Valentine. So warden is again suggesting him to think over my advice, and he asked the guard to take him and bring some good clothes for him so that he can dress up next morning and go out. At a quarter past 7 on the next morning, Jimmy stood in the warden's outer office. The clerk handed him a train ticket and the $5 bill with which the law expected him to rehabilitate himself into good citizenship and prosperity. Mr. James Valentine walked out of into the sunshine. So rehabilitate means to start a good life. to start restarting living a good life, to restart any business. So next morning, Jimmy was again standing out of warden's office. So he was released from the prison, and he was given $5 so that he could start any good business, and he was given a train ticket also so that he could go to his place. He proceeded leisurely and boarded the train. 3 hours set him down in a little town. He went to the cafe of one Mike Dolan and shook hands with Mike. So he just came out leisurely, means not happily, very leisurely he was walking. He boarded the train, and after 3 hours he reached a town where he met Mike Dolan, and he got his keys from the Mike from Mike Nolan. Got my key, said Jimmy. He got his key and went upstairs, unlocking the door of a room at the rear. Everything was just as he had left it. There was on the floor was still Ben Price's collar button that had been torn from the eminent detective's shirt band when they had overpowered Jimmy to arrest him. So when he unlocked the door, when he opened the door of the room, he saw all the things were the same. He could find there was one collar button of the detective Ben Price. Eminent means respected and popular. So there was a lying collar button of Ben Price, who is the detective, and his collar button had fallen on the floor when he had overpowered Jimmy, and Jimmy was struggling to get out of his control. Pulling out from the wall a folding bed, Jimmy slid back a panel in the wall and dragged out a dust covered suitcase. He opened this and gazed fondly at the finest set of burglar's tools in the East. It was a complete set made of specially tempered steel. The latest designs in drills, punches, braces, and bits. Jimmy's clamps, augers, with 2 or 3 novelties invented by Jimmy himself, in which he took pride. So there is a new word, tempered. Tempered means when steel is heated on a high flame, and then it is molded to make anything out of it. So he just took out a folding bed from the wall, and there was a panel, and it seemed like it is a wall, but actually there was a panel. And when he took out the panel, he saw his suitcase, and there were tools inside his suitcase, all the tools of the burglars, and these were the tools everyone wanted to. Jimmy never shared his tools with anyone. Often his friends asked for the tools, but he never gave those to anyone. These tools were specially designed. He had got them made himself, and some of the tools Jimmy had made himself. In half an hour, Jimmy went downstairs and through the cafe. He was now dressed in tasteful and well-fitting clothes, and carried his dusted and cleaned suitcase in his hand. So then he came out of his room, and he was now dressed in a good clothes. He was dressed in his clothes, and he was carrying his suitcase. A week after his release, there was a neat job of safe burglary done in a nearby town. There was no clue left. Then a similar robbery was reported elsewhere, followed by another after 2 weeks. The losses were now high enough to bring the matter up into Ben Price's class of work. By comparing notes, a remarkable similarity in the methods of burglary was noticed. Ben Price investigated the scenes of the robberies and was heard to remark, Jim Valentine has resumed business. So, in this para, we come to know that there were burglaries in nearby towns. A week after week, means 1 week after his release, there was one theft, and after 2 weeks of his release, there was another theft. The losses were very high, means a lot of money was stolen. So the matter was sent to again the detective Ben Price, and when Ben Price investigated, he went to the scene, and he found the clues, and when he thought over them, then he said that Jim Valentine has resumed business, means Jim Valentine has done these robberies. One afternoon, Jimmy Valentine climbed out of the train in a little town called Elmore. He looked like an athletic young senior just home from college. So he was looking like a young boy, and he reached to a little town Elmore. A young lady crossed the street, passing him at the corner, and entered a door over which was the sign, the Elmore Bank. Jimmy Valentine looked into her eyes, forgot what he was, and became another man. She lowered her eyes and colored slightly. Young man of Jimmy's style and looks were scarce in Elmore. So he, when he was standing there, he saw a young girl passing by her, means passing by nearby her. When looked at her, he just forgot with work what work he had come there, and he became a sophisticated manner at that time. He just looked into her eyes and just forgot about his identity. Even the girl lowered her eyes and colored slightly, means her cheeks become a bit reddish, because the personality of Jimmy was very good, very very impressive, and such kind of boys were not found in Elmore. Jimmy collared a boy on the steps of the bank and asked, "Isn't that young lady Polly Simpson?" So he just called a boy nearby that was sitting on the steps of the bank and asked him that, "I know that girl, I think that is Polly Simpson." "No," said the boy, she is Annabel Adams. Her father owns this bank." So the boy said, "No, this is not that girl. This is Annabel Adams, and this bank is of her father's." Jimmy then went to the Planters Hotel and registered as Ralph D. Spencer and engaged a room. He opened a shoe store and secured a good run of trade. So he just booked a room in Planters Hotel. Name of the hotel is Planters, and he told his name over there, Ralph D. Spencer. So he started his business of shoe store over there. Socially, he was a success and made many friends. He met Miss Annabel Adams and became more and more captivated by her charms. So his business was quite successful, and he made many friends also over there. He met Miss Annabel many times, and more, means he was falling in love with her more and more. By the end of the year, Mr. Ralph Spencer had won the respect of the community. His shoe store was flourishing, and he and Annabel were engaged to be married in 2 weeks. So, their relationship was going to be getting married. They were soon going to get married, and the people were also quite fond of him. One day, Jimmy sat down in his room and wrote a letter which he mailed to the safe address of one of his old friends. So he just wrote a letter to his friend. "Dear old pal," pal means friend, "I want you to be at Sullivan's place in Little Rock next Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. I want you to wind up some little matters for me, and also I want to make you a present of my kit of tools. I know you'll be glad to get them. You couldn't duplicate the lot for $1,000. Say, Billy, I have quit the old business a year ago. I've got a nice store. I'm making an honest living, and I'm going to marry the finest girl on earth 2 weeks from now. I tell you, Billy, she's an angel. She believes in me, and I won't do another crooked thing for that whole world." Crook means criminal. So he has written this letter to his friend, telling that, "I want to give my toolkit to you. Though you wanted to duplicate, means you wanted to make another copy of them, but you couldn't do that even for $1,000." And he is saying that, "I'm going to get married. Be there, and I am in love with a girl. I am going to get married with her, and for her I am never going to do thefts, burglary, stealing, and again. On the Monday next night after Jimmy wrote this letter, Ben Price entered Elmore. So Ben Price also reached over there. He launched about town in his quiet way until he found out what he wanted to know. From the drugstore across the street from Spencer's shoe store, he got a good look at Ralph D. Spencer. So here, um, drugstore is where the medicines are sold. So when he wrote this letter, after that, when Monday came, Ben Price also entered them. He was just looking for Jimmy, and he saw Ralph D. Spencer over there. Going to marry the banker's daughter. Are you, Jimmy? Said Ben to himself softly. Well, I don't know. So he said, are you Jimmy? And he was talking to himself only. Uh, then I don't know. The next morning, Jimmy was to leave town to meet his friend. That would be the first time he had left town since he came to Elmore. It had been more than a year now since those last professional jobs, and he thought he could safely venture out. So it was for the first time that he was going out of the town. After breakfast, Mr. Adams, Annabel, Jimmy, and Annabel's married sister with her two little girls, aged 5 and 9, left for bank. Jimmy brought along his suitcase. So after breakfast, they just left for the bank. There were many people, like Mr. Adams was there, Annabel was there, Jimmy was there, Annabel's married sister was also there, and there were two daughters of Miss Annabel's sister. Mr. Adams wanted to show everyone the new safe and vault he had installed. The vault was a small one, but it had a new door. It fastened with three solid steel bolts thrown simultaneously with a single handle, and had a time clock. The two children, May and Agatha, were delighted by the shining metal and funny clock and knobs. So, and Mr. Adam wanted to show the new vault, the new safe he had got for his bank. The new safe was fastened, means it was tied with three steel bolts, and there were one single handle also, and had a time clock, and only using that time clock only the vault could be opened. So the little girls, those were of 6 and 9 years old, they were quite excited to see the shining metal. While they were thus again engaged, means when they were talking, Ben Price walked in, looking casually inside between the railings. He told the tailor that he didn't want anything. He was just waiting for a man he knew. So tailor is the man who helps the people in need in banker, means when any person gets into the bank, he wants to ask something, he wants to get the knowledge, that is the teller. So he told the teller that he doesn't want anything, he just came here to see the man. Suddenly there was a scream or two from the women, and a commotion means a movement, a great movement, unperceived by the elders. Unperceived means not acknowledged. May, the 9-year-old girl, in a spirit of play, had shut Agatha in the vault. She had then shot the bolts and turned the knob of the combination, as she had seen Mr. Adams do. So, in play only, the 9-year-old girl, May, had locked her younger sister in the vault, and she had done the same things as she had seen Mr. Adams do. The old banker sprang to the handle and tugged at it for a moment. The door can't be opened, he groaned. The clock hasn't been wound, nor the combination set. So the banker tried to open, but he couldn't open it because the combination wasn't set, and the close has not been wound. Agatha's mother screamed again hysterically. Hysterically means she was in a state of great shocked. She was quite shocked that at the time they could just hear the faint sound of the child wildly shrieking in the dark vault in a panic of terror. So the girl that was inside that door, she was quite panicked, she was quite afraid, so she was just screaming that she wants to get out of the locker. My precious darling, wailed the mother. She will die of fright. Open the door. Oh, break it open. Can't you men do something? So the mother started shouting. She said that my girl will die. Annabel turned to Jimmy, her large eyes full of anguish, but not yet despairing. Despairing means hopeless, and anguish means she was quite sad and in anger. To a woman, nothing seems quite impossible to the powers of the man she worships. So she looked at Jimmy with the hope, because for every woman it means for every woman it seems like that her husband of or the person whom she trusts the most can do anything to uh, end the any miserable condition. Three of can't you do something, Ralph? Try, won't you? So she asked Ralph to do something. He threw off his coat and pulled up his shirt sleeves. With that act, Ralph D. Spencer passed away and Jimmy Valentine took place. So he took out his coat and pulled out his shirt sleeves, and now Ralph D. Spencer had gone and Jimmy Valentine had come. Get away from the door, all of you, he commanded shortly. He set his suitcase on the table and opened it out flat. From that time on, he seemed to be unconscious of the presence of anyone else. He laid out the shining, queer means strange, implement swiftly and oddly, whistling softly to himself, as he always did when at work. In a deep silence and immovable, the others watched him as if under a spell. So he started doing the work on the locker, on the safe, and queer means strange. So he was just unconscious of the things. He was not caring about the people, presence of the people. He was just concentrated on work like he always does, and he started making the soft noise that he always did when he was doing work. And others were seeing him like there was some there was some magic put on them. So this is the story. See, we can see that he is working on the vault, and on the other side, this one is the Ben Price. He's just looking at him. In a minute, Jimmy's pet drill was biting smoothly into the steel door. In 10 minutes, breaking his own burglary's record, he threw back the bolts and opened the door. So, in 10 minutes, he opened the door, and it's for the first time in his life also that he had opened any locker within 10 minutes. Agatha almost collapsed, but safe was gathered into her mother's arms. So when the girl came out of the locker, she just hugged her mother tightly. Jimmy Valentine put coat and walked outside the railings towards the front door. As he went, he thought he heard a faraway voice that he once knew called Ralph, but never hesitated. So he just started moving, and it seemed like a girl, means Annabelle had called her, but he ignored. At the door, a big man stood somewhat in his way. So Ben Price was standing there. "Hello, Ben," said Jimmy, still with his strange smile. "Got around at last, have you? Well, let's go. I don't know that it makes such much difference now." So he said that let's go, Ben Price, and now it doesn't make any difference if I am caught and sent to the in prison. And then Ben Price acted rather strangely. "Guess you're mistaken, Mr. Spencer," he said. "Don't believe I recognize you." And Ben Price turned and strolled down the street. So Ben Price said that you are mistaken, you are taking me wrong. I don't know you, and I even not even think that I have ever seen you. And he said, after saying this, Ben Price turned and started going to the street. I hope you like this story, and you must have observed that how the story went, how the writer had knit the story so well, and there are surprising ending, as we all were thinking like he is just going to catch Ben Price is going to catch him. But when he saw that he has started living a good life, he is living a noble life, so if he catches him at that time, so it quite possible after getting out of the again prison, Jimmy starts doing burglaries again. So when Ben Price saw that he has changed his way of living, he is totally changed, he is doing good deeds, and he had done that work just for a good reason, so he just left him. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please share, tell me in the comments. I'll be waiting for that. Thank you and have a nice day.